If you're in the market for a new graphics card, or if you're just a tech geek, here are some leaks for the RTX 4090 Ti. Now, I'm sure this thing will be extremely reasonably priced and there will be no need for you to sell your car in order to buy it. LOL. The GPU will also be just absolutely gigantic with a 4-slot cooler design that's needed to help dissipate the 600 watts that this thing can consume. So hopefully you've got an extra large power supply, something like 1200 watts should be just fine. And also an extremely large case with good airflow and an AC in your room because, well, this is essentially a 600 watt heater. And I, for one, am thinking about making this absolutely necessary purchase by selling my car, which will also cover about 2.5 days of electricity costs. So yeah, it's really hard to get excited by a new high-end graphics card these days because even the low and mid-end stuff is already so expensive that a lot of people just unfortunately can't buy these things. So first of all, look at how gigantic this thing is. I mean, 600 watts. So you are absolutely need a ginormous heatsink for this thing to be able to dissipate that many watts. And I mean, the 4090 consumes about 450 watts, and that thing is already huge. So for this thing, they added another slot that it's gonna take up in your PC in order to, you know, make it not melt everything. And I mean, with 600 watts and you still have your CPU and everything else, you can easily be pulling like over 800 watts from your wall into essentially a heater, because most of the energy gets outputted as just excess heat. And so you basically have a large heater in your room, and if you don't have a large room, you are probably going to need an AC, especially if you live in a warmer climate. And I mean, another thing these days is that just Nvidia, AMD, Intel with their chips, they're all just going so far up in power, which is very unfortunate because, of course, there's still the Russia-Ukraine situation, which has raised energy prices a lot globally, to the point where a lot of people this winter probably had to lower their room temperature by a degree or 2 or 3 and stuff like that, which is not really that bad for someone like me, because if I lowered my ambient room temperature by 3 degrees Celsius, that would pretty much just be a minor inconvenience. But if you're old and your immune system is not that great and you catch pneumonia from that, that can be very serious and very life-threatening. But I mean, large energy costs shouldn't be a problem for the RTX 4090 Ti buyers anyways, because this thing will probably be like $2,000 or something like that, and it's probably going to be a little bit more expensive from third parties and stuff like that. Like, I'm just saying the MSRP is probably going to be like $2,000 or something like that, but who knows for how much you're actually going to be able to buy these things for. So right now, for most of us, yeah, maybe just don't buy anything. Maybe try and cripple AMD and Nvidia to the point where they just have to lower prices, which is most likely not going to happen. I mean, they make tons of money from data center stuff as well. So yeah, no, it's just a very depressing situation for all of us gamers and people who just need good GPUs. And this is just really unexciting news, because it's a fantastic graphics card, but it also is going to cost a fantastic amount of money, and also just cost a large amount of money all the time from the actual electricity cost. So yeah, you know, it's cool, but it's kind of hard to get excited, you know.